I've got everything open here, and it's the first time for me as well to do like an interview.
Oh, is it? Oh,
well, I did interviews, but not like this right now, like online, just interviews with people sitting in the room. That's pretty easy. But like to do this online, I've seen it a lot, but yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page like you are right now, maybe.
Oh, well, that makes it much better for me.
Yeah, it's gonna
So
be
I'm
fun
glad
and
I read
easy.
those questions before, because it was a lot to answer on the spur of the moment.
Yeah, and so what I basically and yeah, we can get started, but what I basically want to achieve with doing interviews with other like-minded people or aromatherapists or people in business just and using aromatherapy is to open up the world to other people who just maybe start with aromatherapy or they are stuck with something, and just to hear other stories. Because when I started my business, I had just nobody to talk to really. And it's so nice, right? It's just so nice to somehow have feedback from others, or to hear that they have the same pain you went through, or to just basically say nothing is always great and there are these really big hurdles and difficulties, but it can get better. So that's why I actually started out thinking, I would like to bring that to the group aromatherapists in business, and also just to help others maybe promote their business as well. And since you were right now the closest to me, you live in Portugal, you're basically 40 minutes away, and
I know. I will come.
Yeah, please. Well, and I've been seeing a lot from others how much they really like your massage and the aromatherapy and how it works, and like I've seen it all over Facebook, your name somewhere. So
that's so good to hear.
Yes, no, and it's true. I mean, often in the Cascais Estoril area, because that's where you are right now, but it's been, your name popped up everywhere. So that's why I really wanted to catch you, and thanks for doing
that's
this.
so nice to hear.
So I have my list of questions, and you have been obviously getting them as well, and I think we can just both give something back to the community basically and see how it goes. And then we'll see. So first of all, by what name do you really go? Your name is Michelle Louise Clement Smith. But
actually it's Traneus is my last name, my married name, but on Facebook is Smith, because that's people who I haven't seen in years, how they can find me, my maiden name. I go by Michelle now. I used to be Mickey, and I claimed my birthright again. I feel old enough to have my name back.
No, that is good. So you go by Michelle, and it used to be Mickey, and you still see that, I think, with veterans of yours and fans everywhere. Of yours.
So I'm trying to train everybody. So it's quite harsh.
Okay. We will stay with Michelle.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. So, Michelle, you have been a worldwide certified aromatherapist or massage therapist, and you're living in Portugal currently, but you do a whole bunch of different massages. I saw from aromatherapy massage over reflexology, as well as hot stone massage, pregnancy massage. But what else?
Intuitive massage and Reiki healing, and a combination of either of those. So that tends to be where I take it at the beginning of the treatment, is people either specifically come to me wanting a foot reflexology or a massage with aromatherapy. But sometimes they come to me, on the whole, people come to me and they just say, you do what you think I need.
Wow. And you call that the intuitive massage?
Yeah, and with every treatment, I use essential oils.
With every treatment. Okay, wow. So how do you go about, I mean, you meet the person, first of all, and then the person steps into your room, and do they actually mention to you, this is how I feel today, this is what I need? How do you go about this scenario?
I think the nicest way to help people talk about themselves is I set the room up with the music, and it's warm, the bed is heated, and I explain to them the procedure and let them get undressed and get into the bed whilst I'm out the room. Then when I come back in and they're in the bed and cozy, I ask them a few questions about their life and their stresses, their strains, their needs, their wants, and how do they feel afterwards? How do they want to feel afterwards?
Yeah.
Particularly questions like, are you on any medication? Have you got any pins and plates in your body? Or are you pregnant? You know, there's a whole array of questions. But specifically about lifestyle, sleep patterns, digestive patterns, aches and pains. And from 5 or 10 minutes of talking, I hover around my aromatherapy oils, where there's hundreds of them, and I take 2 or 3 and I make a blend for that person for that massage. Whether it's reflexology or aromatherapy or Reiki, I always use a blend for that massage. And no 2 massages are the same.
No,
Not even with the same person who comes every week at the same time. It'll be a different blend because everything's changed. You know?
Yeah.
The mood, whatever, you know.
Yeah, and you mentioned actually what I felt when receiving a massage here in Portugal. Often the room is so cold and the environment is uncozy. It's not cozy at all. And then to relax into a massage is really difficult. And you just said you have a heated bed. I need to come. I really do need to come to.
Sure. Because also I respect, as you peel back the towel and the blankets, say, to work on the back, that's quite a shock to be, you know, exposed in this weather. So I will peel back bit by bit and keep it warm and cozy, and then I will cover up with another towel to protect them, because I think the minute we're cold, we tense up. So being warm is imperative, and the room, of course, is heated and dry. We need,
well, especially with the humidity.
Half the problem here is that we're a bit damp, isn't it? And so our shoulders go up, and then that creates tension.
Exactly, just like me right now, because the houses are so hard to heat, and the mold and humidity comes into every corner of the house. But I think there are just a lot of people also having issues with joints and rheumatism here, especially in this area, and I can see asthma people a lot and everything else. So
and you can always spray your walls with tea tree.
True.
A water with tea tree in it.
True.
Mold away.
Yes, very true. So going back actually to the beginnings of your whole voyage, is where were you born? Where are you from? Why did you move to Portugal?
Lots of questions. I was born in what was then known Salisbury, Rhodesia. It's now Harare, Zimbabwe.
Wow.
My dad was South African and my mum was also born in Zimbabwe. Going back to the generations, we would be British.
Yes.
So colonists, I suppose. But, you know, we were born and bred there. And there I stayed until the war broke out in Zimbabwe. And then my father's business took us all over the world. And I ended up moving to Portugal because I fell in love.
Yeah. And that was quite a time ago, or many years ago?
26 years ago.
Okay. So you're definitely fluent in Portuguese.
Mais ou menos.
Mais ou menos. And then you but you stayed in that area basically since you arrived here, or have you been somewhere else in Portugal?
I started off in Alfama in Lisbon, and then moved to the Baixa, and then came out as I started having, or when I got pregnant actually, I wanted the countryside and the sea. So I was in Almocegem, and then Cascais, and now Malveira de Serra.
Wow.
I love it here.
Yeah,
I also love where you are.
It is, yeah, it's a beautiful area. I love the coastline here. It's just really gorgeous and still fairly calm where I am right now too. But I think where you are too, except the Cascais area has been getting quite a lot of attraction.
Up the mountain away.
Yeah.
And I love it here. It's home. It's home. I knew that when I arrived, actually.
See, and I think Portugal, it is sometimes either you have to get used to it, but it can also, I have it on certain parts where it just feels really home. And then other parts I do miss. I lived in California for 17 years and from East Germany originally. So there are different areas. And I think the more you move, the harder it gets to really feel home fully in one place. But I just told my husband that it actually started in the last few months now to just feel really home, and that comes with community, with building a business, with feeling really comfortable in a place. But it takes time.
And also being with other traveled people.
Exactly. Yes, and there are a lot of expats here. So in terms of schooling, have you actually visited a former massage school? How did you get about the study of aromatherapy and massage, and how do you know?
I fell in love with the oils when I was a teenager. And then in my 20s, I went and studied anatomy and physiology to start with. And then that was followed by Swedish massage, aromatherapy, reflexology, and Reiki healing. So I did the full intensive course or courses. And that led me to be qualified. It was actually in Spain, in the Spanish system. And then I did what's called ITEC, International Technology Education Council, qualifications to allow me to work worldwide.
Okay, wow. So
thorough course. And I started with aromatherapy and then with the oils, and then got interested in the massage side. So it was the
other way around, actually. And that's why, I mean, the question is just right. Am I doing massage as well, maybe after studying aromatherapy? And it's true, you do think about how you can actually give the oils to the other person in a different way. It's not just inhaling, but what other practices are out there which use aromatherapy. And massage is, I mean, I think one of the most beautiful and well-known areas of how to transfer the oils to a person and use it, because it's also such a beautiful lengthy process of using the oils within an hour, I guess. And I love it.
Think, the way we absorb the oils through the skin and the hair follicles then allows the oils to penetrate the body on an even, slow, gentle way, because they're so concentrated. I like the idea of massage, and the difference in an hour with my clients is phenomenal as they go in, and they start to work.
So can you say like a really profound maybe experience you ever had with a client who came in and then left your room again? Just how it felt like?
A lot of them leave floating. They sort of, I say, would you want to just sit down a minute? Oh no, this is heaven. Floating word that I keep hearing. Loving it, floating,
Yeah, no, I can believe.
One particular oil, black pepper, that clients call me up and say, can I buy that by the litre? That gave me such a buzz. And I was like, really helped me get through my, speech or something they needed to do, which is why I mixed it in there. And that was brilliant. Or, they love it. When you get something where you get an oil that people really felt it had an effect, then they know it's strong.
Yeah, exactly. And do they come back sometimes and ask for the same blend again, or for the same experience, I guess?
I try to explain to them it can never be the same, because everything is variable.
Yeah.
Food they're in, the state of themselves, the weather, the moon, the damp, whatever's going on inside of them, whether they're tired or whether they've just, got up, or how their stress life is. It's always different.
It's true. And it's, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but the intention is to help them feel the same at the end of the treatment, is really well balanced, mentally calm, physically relieved of all the tension, and spiritually uplifted.
Yeah.
And of course, there are people that say, I'm coming at night because I need sleep, I'm so stressed. So
okay.
Sort of treatment. And other people coming in the morning going, I need a pep up, I've got a really important day, and I need to, whatever it is,
Yeah.
So as you know, with the oils in combination, they have such variable effects.
Oh, they are just, it's amazing. We just had this discussion again because for some reason my husband is prone to flea bites from our dogs. I never get them, but he does. And he gets them really intensively with all the flare-ups and whatnot else. And he just comes straight in and knows by now what to do and what to take in order to calm the things down. And so are the children. It's amazing. The oils work on so many levels, and when I started out with them, I was just myself. I always used them just as diffusing part of my life, but really getting to know them the way I'm using them now is just a whole different world and area, and it's been incredible.
It reminds me, my son, when he was little, if he woke up in the night, he used to sort of mumble lavender. So they really know, my kids really know a lot about the oils without them realizing, you know.
Yes. Well, it's become part of them as much because you have been surrounding yourself with them. And I think that is just like one of the biggest gifts you can probably give to them next to, you know, everything else. But the oils, they really can walk out and pretty much say, this is what I need today. And that's just by listening to us talking. And I do a lot of workshops, and my older son is now being part of it as well. So that is really nice for him.
Really good.
Yeah. It? Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it when they become, you know, part of it together.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do involve, you know, things like when somebody comes to me very bunged up with, you know, respiratory problems, I will put a bowl of hot water underneath the face hole in the massage bed with eucalyptus, so they get an inhalation whilst their face is in the hole receiving a massage, so that when they get up it's all clear, you know?
Yes.
So I will try other ways other than just massage with the oils in the treatment room.
Well, that is a really good idea, because I was just thinking, it's true, when you lie right with your face down, there's the hole, and you can just continue to inhale. And you probably could use any kind of oil, eucalyptus or lavender or whatever, to inhale during the massage even. That's
yeah, and I use those diffusers with oils in them, which is more the mood based, particularly for the ladies if they're having a hard time of the month or feeling a bit blue. Then I'll put some oils to have in the room as well as what's going on them.
Yes. Okay.
We always feel good when it smells good around us.
Yeah, you have a double portion going on. A double magic spell.
And of course, I get it too whilst working.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, it's actually a treat for the massage therapist itself, right?
It is. I honestly say I feel brighter and better after every treatment I give.
You yourself?
There's an energetic connection there, not with the client only, but with the grounding force, as I'm a Reiki therapist as well. So when I start a treatment, I connect with the earth, with Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, God, people have their own names. So the cleansing that goes on and the passing of energy within the client and myself is all grounded. So both the client and I get washed and balanced on positive energy. So that always, people ask me, oh, do you absorb the energies? I said, no. As a Reiki practitioner, we've taught how not to let that.
You don't absorb them, but that was actually my next question. So it's not that you ever go out with a negative experience. No. Okay, wow, because it goes right straight back into the earth, or you just basically throughout the massage, so you take it out and you give it away.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's beautiful.
And that also gives the client a much deeper treatment where they do drift off into another zone very quickly.
I tell you, I could use one every day. I notice, I think that there are people who receive massages very well, and probably others who need them badly, but they are not really able to relax as much as they should at times. And that's why I love children, not knowing how to do massage, but yet just touching their feet or doing a little hand massage. They know how to relax. I think adults are so under stress, so much under stress.
Yeah, so much stress nowadays.
Yeah.
Did you know that, talking about daily massage, did you know that Hippocrates said a sweet smelling massage with the essential oils, but they called them something else then, alleviates sign of all ailments. So you can imagine back in the Greek time, there was a lot of people that could afford to have massage every day. And that was their pharmacy.
And I personally exactly think it should be part of preventive care paid by health insurance. I've been saying that for so many years now, that I think every human being should be able to receive a massage at least once a week.
Mm-hmm.
At least. It would be so beautiful if there's a country to incorporate this into the health insurance plan. I mean,
so could be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, it would be helpful.
All the symptoms of stress would just
disappear.
Particularly in the neck.
Yes, I know. I know. So, you know, my business coach actually told me that, Katrin, every time we get on the phone, and I just have one now since a few months actually, because I got so stuck in my business, but every time we get on the phone, she's like, what's your elevator speech? What are you doing? So I'm asking you that if you were to meet somebody in the elevator right now and they're asking, Michelle, what are you doing? What would you tell them?
I'd tell them that I fell in love with the oils as a teen. And then I qualified as an aromatherapist and reflexologist. And for nearly 30 years, I've been treating people with a combination of the two treatments with Reiki. And it absolutely changes people in an hour. And I'd also say that we all need a calm mind, and this works. It's a calm mind.
True.
And send them to my Healing Mickey page for a few reviews that would explain a little bit more about what I've done to people. Because I believe in the reviews.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've read them too. That's why I know I wanted to talk to you as well, because you must have done some incredible work for the people, to the people, with the people. I don't even know.
Yes, yes. Lovely work. Lovely, lovely work. With a lot of professionals as well, like ballerinas and members of the orchestras. That's amazing to work on them, because they are so physically exhausted and mentally as well. And then I also work, go on.
No, you go on. No, it was just.
And pregnancies and helping delivering babies with aromatherapy.
So are you in the room as well then with when the mothers give birth, or are you doing the okay, wow.
Yes.
That
all
is
the
magical.
way from the beginning of the contractions all the way till baby's born. And quite often I have to work on the father to be as well.
You grab the father's arm and hand to just massage it on the side. They need that. Yeah, that must be
that was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the reflexology with that as well in combination.
So how
the healing Mickey combo. Sorry.
Yeah, no, how did you get started in any of your areas? Let's take pregnancy, for example. Mm-hmm. If someone is out there, they are a massage therapist, they're doing aromatherapy, how did you get, because it is such a sensitive field, massaging pregnant women and being part of in the delivery room as well. How did you get started?
I had quite a tricky birth with my son here in Portugal. A lengthy one, I could say, as well. And then for my daughter, which wasn't even 2 years later, I did prenatal yoga throughout. And I worked with my oils. And I found a wonderful doctor who was into the natural birth, even though it was in the hospital. And it was a totally different experience. And I left the hospital 4 hours after she was born, came home, had a rest, and went out for dinner. It was incredible. So that doctor, she knew my work, and I recommended a friend of mine to go to her. And she invited me in, and the doctor said, are you bringing your oils and your fingers and your work, and you're going to join in? And it just went from there, where, you know, I'm not replacing the medical field. I was just assisting the birth. In a hospital, you know, it was what we call emotional support. Between the father to be and the doctor, you need somebody there that's the emotional support. It's called a doula, an old Bantu word where, you know, from when the tribal women would be there with the emotional support. And then, of course, the oils and reflexology, they have profound effect at getting the birth to be autonomous and no big struggle, you know. And I mean, it's a push and it's a lot of work, but without big problems. And a lot of the issues that happen in birth are to do with the fears that come up, you know, from past stories, from, you know, the mother-to-be's own birth or various situations. And the oils really calm that.
Yeah, and I like to believe that's true for many fields actually, or from in life. Fear is just a major, anxiety and fear is just a major factor in general for any kind of illnesses and problems. And I can see that with pregnancy coming right on. I remember the first birth and second birth, they were very different for me too, but I didn't use any oils at that point. I wish I would have known more, but yeah, I didn't. Are you there? Oh, we just lost each other for a moment.
No,
okay.
You're back.
I'm back. So if you were to compare yourself to right after high school and what you did back then to now, like what I mentioned as well is like a short ride down memory lane, is how did you evolve in your field? How would you describe yourself of being back then and now? Maybe just
interesting you should say that, because back then I was into the oils and I was going vegetarian and I always liked nature and going for walks. I was definitely meant to be a country bumpkin, you know, a country person. I was born on a farm, so this comes round in circles.
Yeah.
I had short spiky hair, that was the only difference. But,
really?
Yeah, but I had the oils already then for colds and flus and headaches.
So it's been really a part of your life pretty much ever since childhood.
Yes. It's quite an interesting story. You were asking me about my qualifications. I wanted to be a beautician when I finished school at 16. And in order to get into a beauty school in England, then you had to be 17. So I researched and I found this one really lovely school in London. No, you have to be 17. So I went and did the International Baccalaureate. Then I did a degree in London. And then years later, I thought, okay, let's go and study aromatherapy. My mum lived in Spain and she said, there's this school opened here in Spain. It's English. Aromatherapy, Reflexology, alternative healing school. So I called them up and it was the same school I applied to in London, had moved to Marbella. She recognized my voice. So I ended up being taught by the same, I know, isn't that amazing?
That is beautiful.
Age. I know, she recognized my voice. Within a week I was there and starting, like, wow.
A dream come true, huh? Yeah,
it's incredible.
Wow. So,
and you know, when you study something you love, it's not like studying.
No, not at all. What a difference. And that's actually a part of what I'm doing with homeschooling as well. Trying to give the children something so they enjoy learning again. So, you know, it's not like 8 hours in school and getting, or not even absorbing what the teacher really tells you or teaches and preaches you in front of the school. It's such a difference to see their light go on and enjoy. And that's what I felt when I studied aromatherapy now after all of these years. It's just, I can't get enough of it. It's not work, it's not studying, it's just pure enjoyment. It's really, I think,
I call them my best friends. The little oils, my best friends.
They are, but they are. Yeah. So what would you say your biggest influencers or mentors were in your life throughout the career path now? When you started out, obviously you got really lucky with the school in Spain, but then throughout the years, have you had any?
My teachers at the school in Spain were incredible, and I used to go back and visit them when I moved to Portugal and get a reboost, because when I moved here, there was nothing. There was nothing to do with aromatherapy and massage. There was no, I think there was 1 or 2 gyms in Lisbon, but there was nothing. So if I said I'm an aromatherapist to anyone, they didn't know what it was, or reflexologist hadn't a clue.
No.
Masseuse, they were like, oh, so I was really alone here, and I happened to meet a couple of ballerinas, and they're at Roll, where I started working on the professionals, performing artists, and that was wonderful because that opened my doors. But really, I was alone, and I had to just dive into my books and my oils, and I would import them from London. Well, import them, have them sent over to use, and I was truly alone, and I couldn't really find anybody to talk to in the business. So I'd dive into books and read all about Madame Mouret and whoever did, reinstitute in France in the 1700s, or what happened and where the oils came from. I would just be in heaven reading. Yeah. And then, of course, the client feedback. That was my support of how it was working. And people like ballerinas who use their bodies all day and get physiotherapy, and then they have one of my treatments. It sort of wipes them out for 3 days, as in the body is changing for 3 days. I mean, they can go back and work, but they come through and afterwards saying, wow, that cleared a lot from the past,
Yeah.
Because it affects emotional as well.
Yeah, so that basically, I can imagine 30 years ago, I mean, even now, sometimes it's still hard to find distillers or anything else here in Portugal. Also, they are slowly coming on, luckily, which is nice to see, but it's still hard to get some supplies here, and it's not easy. We still have to go back to the UK or Germany or Austria to get supplies and partially educate people on aromatherapy, especially. That's what I found, because
totally, it's just non-existent.
Not like in the US, where everything is definitely just taking this big essential oil life on since 10 years now, I guess, and even longer. Huge, yeah. So, Michelle, you have also the Healing Retreat Portugal. Is that something different from your actual day-to-day job?
That's a new idea that I've set up, which is actually relaunching what I used to do a long time, which was give retreats in Alentejo. When my kids were tiny, I started doing that 5 or 6 day retreats with other therapists, yoga practitioners, vegetarian food. And that was aimed at the British and American markets. We had like the New York Times and the Sunday Times following us, and we got some fabulous clients from that. And then I put it aside because motherhood and schooling, got quite busy.
Don't we know?
So, yes, as it's healingmicky, I started healing retreats, and it's a new idea where I'm going to bring in other therapists and give retreats on what people want. It could be art. It could be expression of some sort of movement. It's just going to be an open flowing project. And I'm looking at different venues, and I would like it to be in different venues as well, so that it could suit if people want to be near the sea or in the city or whatever they want. And that's healing retreats. And I'm also going to be doing healing workshops, where I've given loads of workshops over the years. Very simple. How to use aromatherapy oils in your home, how to use aromatherapy oils on your family. Nothing that gives you a diploma, just to use at home.
Yeah.
Love it.
To get started and to have an easy start and not feel overwhelmed with all of these oils existing out there, and safety and scary things.
Yeah, I do it like that.
Yeah.
So it's just new ways of doing it, and I have way more time now. I'm at the school business now, or the school runs. I can do more with people, and it seems that the stress levels are really high.
They are.
I'm kind of keen to set up a retreat which is for therapists, because I think therapists do really need a reboost.
It is a great idea. I honestly think you will have customers there, because we give so much as therapists. We constantly give, and it's so hard to receive as well.
Yeah.
Do it.
And so that'll be this year's angle, particularly from the northern countries where it's very cold and very stressed.
Yeah.
Because it's it's a different level of stress. It really
or
is.
where there's a lot of bureaucracy.
It can wind up anyone, won't it? Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that would be, I mean, I think this would be a real good plan to have these healing retreats. I mean, you hear about some retreats, but I think for therapists, or even what you mentioned, to have different therapists coming in and teach with you a retreat is because it leaves it open then to maybe some people like to do art, or others might like to do yoga, or experience massage and so on. So, or art. Yeah, that is another beautiful.
Sort of diet, nutrition, life coach, creative stuff. So, you know, the whole package would give you a new set for life tools that you can work with. And I think we really all need refreshing new sets of tools, because some have become no good anymore. We need new ways of dealing with things. True. And our bodies change over time, and we need boosting, don't we? And I really believe in yoga is wonderful for that. But there's other forms as well, you know.
Yeah, there's
whatever you know.
No, I just you considered as well to go back to dancing as well, which I think is a beautiful form of calming down and letting your thoughts go and just float away a little bit. Because my daughter started dancing, and I just look at her and it's like, wow, that used to be me 30 years ago. Why am I not doing that anymore? But yep, busy. But we'll see. So I would be just interested in what a typical day would look like with you. How do you wake up? What do you prefer to go to bed with, or how? And what is your favorite drink of the day? Do you have like a routine?
Always, one thing I start the day with, that's my hot lemon water. It's got to be like 40 years I've been doing that. I just love drinking that hot water.
With some salt, or just the lemon water?
Lemon, yeah, and a lot of lemon, yeah. And in Portugal, that's fabulous. There's lemons everywhere. So I start the day like that, and I pretty much end my day, but with chamomile tea in bed. But I do like that, getting up extra early and taking care of things, getting my mindset right in bed. Yeah, I don't like running out of bed in the morning. It's just no. So even in the days of getting up super early for the schools, I'd set my alarm earlier to have that lemon water in bed. My time really is. I like to go for a walk every day somewhere, and you know, where we live, it's so good to walk by the coast or up here in the Serra. I love to do that. And then I practice yoga. So whichever way I can do it. In the summer, I do a lot of stand-up paddling as well. Because I reached a point a few years ago where I realized that if you work around a massage bed for hours and hours and hours, for years and years and years, you're bent over.
Yes, true.
So I learned that stand-up paddling and yoga and marching up the mountains gets you back and gets it all moving. So that's my form of working out what I've been doing all day.
Every day a little bit.
Yeah, and it has to be outside.
So do you have an animal? Do you have a dog?
Cats. I'm a cat person.
You're a cat person. Yeah, got 3 of those ones. You too. Yeah, no, that is, so you go out on your walk, or you do yoga or stand-up paddleboarding every day, something, and then you start your day with lemon water, which my husband does as well. It's beautiful. That is, he swears by it too. It's just the cleansing process, and beautiful and warm as well, and it wakes you up slowly.
Generally, I'm more of a vegetarian. I will eat fish, so I'm a pescatarian, but generally I'm a veggie, you know. Yeah. And I love it. But the fish I will eat that.
Yeah, well, you live in a fish country here. You do get a lot of fish. So it's not, So how long is an actual massage lasting? Do you offer an hour and a half, 30 minutes? Are they different, your massages?
I do. I offer 30, 60, 90, and 120 minutes, according to what people want. On the whole, people come for an hour. And that's when I do either a treatment of deep reflexology or a body massage or face and neck. Depends what people want. Or as I was describing, what my clients call top and tail, which is a blend made for them, and it's deep aromatherapy back massage with neck, shoulders, face, and then I do half an hour of remedial reflexology on their feet. So it's an all-round, and the massaging and the oils work the body from the outside in, and the reflexology works on the energetic level, so it washes through the body on the inside out. So it clears it all up, you know, and the Reiki is turned on at the same time, which is that lovely wash of positive energy.
Yeah. And
that's what most people do. They walk in and say, I want the Mickey special.
Well, they probably know whatever you do, they will be fine afterwards. There's no bad coming out of Michelle.
No, I leave that outside the door.
Yeah,
and I let them talk a bit. And then as I get them to roll over to work their neck and face, I generally go quiet. Yeah. And so do they. Because you really, if you talk all the way through a massage, I think you don't really notice so much. You feel it at the end, but it's much better to just let the music take over.
Absolutely. That's true. Yeah, no, that is absolutely true. I had a few massage therapists themselves talking, and then at one point I said nothing, and then I just attempted to fall asleep basically, and they would also then be quiet. But it's true that if you cannot continue to talk, even when I get my hair done, sometimes a haircut, I just like to be quiet and not talk, because it's a treatment in some way too.
Yeah, it's touch, and it sends you off into another place. And I get my hair done, I just do want to close my eyes too. Let alone a pedicure, I'll be
touch and smell. It's just one of the most important things, I think, in my life at this point.
But it's the biggest part of our brain. The smell is the biggest part of our brain.
Exactly.
So,
the
olfactory system. We have 4 different types of taste that we can taste. Sweet, sour, tart, whatever. It's 4 types. We have over 800,000 different types of scents we can recognize in our brain still. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, and I also know that they have real difficulties nailing down the smell scent, because it's just so huge. It's so hard to really say what it does to us, but they have found out so much already, and no wonder that I guess aromatherapy and inhalation is one of the biggest parts in people's life right now. I mean, everywhere you turn is like smell, and aromatherapy. But do you see also sometimes, you have been observing a lot through the 30 years and the changes, I guess, with aromatherapy as well, and different companies coming on and everything else, but do you see a trend where you would say, okay, people need to start being careful as well with essential oils, or have you not experienced that so much in your world right now?
Yes, I get a little bit concerned when people ingest essential oils. I'm not sure what your point of view is on that, but when I trained, that was so clearly defined that they are so concentrated that they need to be diluted on a minimal level with maximum oil, and used on the skin or inhalation or whatever, because they're so powerful that to put a drop purely on the skin or on the tongue, even worse, is really too much, and you can burn your mucous membrane cells. And there's a lot of people who come to me going, oh, I'm using these oils, and I put a drop on a sugar cube and take it like this, it clears my headache or gets rid of my nausea. And
so you hear that too, you see that and hear that more now as well.
Oh yeah, and I just stay away, and I know it works, but it's a quick fix. And then that will burn your digestive system, but I mean, it won't set on fire and burn. It'll burn through the mucous membranes that are so sensitive, because they're there to absorb, so they're meant to be sensitive, and I try and discourage that.
I can see that there's
I've
big
been
discussions
by people wanting me to sell their oils, and watch their videos, and it always says this, you know, take this after, I don't know, for a hangover, and this for toothache, and this for the, and I just say, I'm sorry.
No. Well, and you have so much more experience at this point than any new person coming to aromatherapy. You have seen it and you've done it, and nobody needs
respect to them, you know, when you see the volume of you know, what is it, 60 cabbage roses makes one drop of rose oil.
Exactly.
Now imagine trying to eat 60 cabbage roses. I think nature brings it, you know, provides it as it is, as we can take it, you know.
I mean, no, I agree. Especially,
I know in Australia you can't buy essential oils unless you're a professional aromatherapist.
And I think probably that's right.
Even in these little 10 ml bottles in Australia, they will be diluted. You can't get anything pure because people have had baths and, you know, bubble bath, and then they get the lavender, go woo, you know. The thing is, it floats on top of the water, and then that hits the skin, and it won't burn. But the next day or the next summer, you'll see dots. And
you will have that, exactly. You will have that skin reaction, and it's not even needed, right? We don't need 10, 20, 30, 40 drops of one thing, not needed at all. And so the education part is I think a huge discussion point all around the world at this point, how to educate new users, because I do think they really bring a lot to the table, essential oils, but obviously it can get overused as well, and then we get used to it, and then we get immune, and we can why but there is not enough information source, I think, out there to say this is the way to really go, because there's so many controversial discussions happening right now.
I think respect them.
So if somebody is coming to you and said, we never had a massage, I don't want a massage, I don't need a massage, what would you tell them?
Well, there are people who don't like touch. And I just say, I really think you're missing out. You know, but what I used to do when I first moved to Portugal is I would just stand behind someone and knead their shoulders a bit. And you watch them as the blood starts to go through the head. They come down and they go, carry on, don't stop. And then, no, book with me. Or I offer like a 20-minute freebie trial. Say, well, listen, I could talk and talk and talk, but my hands do the work. So if you want a little trial, I used to always say that to people, and then you decide, you know, or go to my healingmicky page and have a look at what other people say.
And look at the reviews, right?
Or talk to everyone else. But I especially years ago, I did always say, look, let me try and do something, because I felt a little bit shy back then to really try and encourage people to have treatments, because, you know, back then it would also be sort of associated with, you know, blowing your trumpet, being too big-headed, talking about yourself. Whereas now it's the opposite. Marketing is all about saying everything you know and telling everyone. So it's turned around a lot.
It did, and I think it makes it partially a little bit easier. I'm very hesitant of blowing the trumpet, you said. As a German, that sounds beautiful, blowing the trumpet. But it's a hard thing, and I think it's also very hard for women who are involved with children and business, and it shouldn't be like this anymore. But it's still, you know, I feel still much more shy than my husband does, talking about what my children can do or I can do or whatnot else. But it's definitely, you hold yourself back a little bit way back then, and still probably today for a lot of people. Instead of maybe giving it a little bit more, you studied it, so you know definitely more than 99% of your friends or someone. So give it a try at least.
I mean, it was my children when they were teens saying, Mum, you've got to ask for reviews. And I was like, ooh, a bit cold. No, this is a modern world. Come on, you've got to get reviews. And then I'd ask people, who seemed like the sort of people that would take the time to give feedback.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think apparently I've got around 60 on that page, but I've probably done thousands of massages each year for nearly 30 years. I should have a lot more, but I'm just getting the...
Yeah, well, and as you said, they are not all people who take the time to do a review, and you can feel who will, and those are the right people also to take the reviews from. But I think it's a bright idea from your children to say that, because we are living more and more in an online world, and it makes it really, really hard to get anything in terms of business up and going if you don't have testimonials, reviews, and good feedback from something. So I think it is important.
Really important.
Yeah, we live in that age. So where do you source your oils from? How do you go about oils and creating your recipe? You mentioned already a little bit for your customers or the clients when they come in, you talk to them and feel them out. But the oils themselves, it's not so easy to source them here in Portugal. But do you have somewhere where you go and you know you get your oils from?
Well, I originally had an amazing supplier outside London. Yeah. And him and his wife, they were in their 70s. They had done it all their lives. So I'd go around to their house and he'd pull out bottles and go, what sort of lavender do you want? I've got 10 different types. Do you want one that's a bit like this or a bit like that? And it would be, it was so brilliant. I would love going to see, you know, what he had. And he would source the oils according to the countries where they still had 4 seasons and where the oils were indigenous, of course. So he was my sole supplier in Spain and Portugal until he retired about 5 years ago. Oh, I was sad. And someone took over the business, and it just didn't work for me, because they didn't have the oils I needed, and they wouldn't post them until they had the money order, and it just got really hard. And somebody has opened up in the next village here. She's an aromatherapy supplier, and she found me, which is amazing, because I can just call her up and she will be at my gate within 24 hours with a little baggie. And I like to buy my oils in you know, liter form or 500 ml form, or 100. Generally the 10 mils I don't buy in that size, but and she offers that, and I love her oils. So
so you have a good source at this point, and you also get your base oils or your carrier oils from her?
Yeah, from her I do, and I also look around. I will come and
and is there is there a specific base oil you use for massages, or you like the most, or do you actually switch out your carrier oils as well for massage?
Generally in Portugal I use almond oil.
Yes.
I used to use sunflower oil as well, obviously all cold pressed and natural.
Yeah.
Definitely have food grade as well. But sometimes in the summer I will use a coconut oil because it's so thin. And then on the face I would add wheat germ oil, avocado oil, something just to be a little bit more nutritious and thicker on the face.
Yeah.
Depending on the skin.
Yeah, of course.
It's almond base here because I like to use the local.
Yeah, so and it makes sense. It's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Would you say you have a certain percentage of men and women? Do you have more women than men as customers, or is that a good mix?
It just comes in waves, you know?
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of women when school starts. They all appear after the long summer holidays going, you know. And then I suppose when the season picks up and it's all surfers, which there are more male and female surfers for some reason, and the windsurfers who really get sore backs, that'll pick up in the male side. And then there'll be a wave of all the members of the orchestra coming to me, and there's a lot of guys in that, you know, playing. It varies. It just.
So you're pretty much busy the whole year? It's not that you have more of a seasonal massage business. It's definitely...
I tend to be busier in the summer because there are more people here where I live.
Yeah,
and
because of
a lot of my friends have family to stay and get to massage all their family. But it varies. Sometimes I get 5 pregnant women that need massaging, you know, and they're all going to have babies, and so it just depends. And then there's very quiet times, which is my time, you know.
There's the Michelle and the chamomile tea time and the the walk time, which we do need, right?
Bureaucracy time.
Yes.
I think you have to learn, over the years I've learned, I should say, how to go with the flow. So when the work goes down, is not to panic.
Right.
Enjoy all the other things you need to do, because there's so many other things you need to do. And I'm not a machine. I don't work, you know, back to back to back to back to back to back. It doesn't work.
No, but I think that is probably the fear of a young business when the downtime comes and people start stressing about obviously money coming in and supporting their business and continuing and so on, that they seek out other options to create more income within the business. But it's not always that easy, I guess, too. Do you have any suggestions there for someone who's starting out, despite just waiting it out and taking the next high wave again? Or would you say go out and try to work somewhere?
I can say from personal experience, and I think it's because I work in the energy field, that if I'm not well, if I've got a cold or something and it's going on, or if I've had an injury, like I had some sports injuries last year, I don't get any booking.
Oh, wow.
I don't even have to tell anyone. I just don't get any booking. Or if there's something emotional going on with me, I've lost a friend or something's happened, you know, I don't get bookings. Yeah. And I know if my phone's not ringing, it's time for me to take care of myself. And it might be emotionally, it might be physically, it might be, you know, just go and get fitter, go and have some time. Because as soon as I get back on track, or I've gone and done a retreat or something, work just comes plowing in again. Yeah, so you basically,
so you don't see these hurdles more as difficult times, but much more right now as, okay, time to take for yourself, time to breathe, time to maybe look at new things like the healing retreat. And so it creates automatically space.
Yes, or, you know, like I did spend time on Facebook and I found your business, your group, you know, and that's the other way of spending time, putting in work into your business. And I mean, of course, when there isn't business, we do sort of think, oh, but that's where you have to switch off and not get stressed and just let it go. Let it go. I don't think any business is constant, even the great big businesses. I think everything.
No, and that is a good point. Absolutely right, because everything, whatever you do in life, it has ups and downs constantly. And often I think we are just blaming ourselves because we haven't done enough. Maybe we should have done more advertisement or go out and network more or seek new clients. But sometimes it's really true that in the calmness, you can gain much more than trying to race after everything which is shiny and coming up. And I think everybody experienced that probably in the business world, especially our field. It's not always easy, I think, to be a therapist in a way that you can have the constant income. I can see it maybe when even coaches or marketing or everything, there's an up and down as well. I think there is literally in your own business. And you're right, even in the corporate world or somewhere else, there are always difficulties.
Yes, yes. Yeah. I mean, there's night and day, isn't there? There's night and day. It's always changing.
Absolutely.
And just to enjoy it, you know. And I know that when I get a lot of bookings, I really enjoy the work, the clients, the feedback, using all the oils. And then when there isn't, well, I do things in my therapy room, or I make products, or I, you know, create workshops. That's always good fun to do as well, alongside the fact that I'm recharging myself.
Yep, true. So if somebody starts out with massage or aromatherapy massage, what are the 3 things you would tell them to not do? when they're starting out.
Not to talk to the client.
Very good.
During a treatment, let the client talk to you until they fall asleep, especially about her issues. You don't want to hear about the therapist's issues. So number one is that. Never use synthetic, cheap essential oils. You're literally poisoning the person.
True.
Yes. It just wouldn't work. Another one, I'd say, what would I say? Oh, do a proper course. There's far too many weekend courses on aromatherapy, and you get a little certificate, but no, you really need to know the oils to work on people and do
Go
a
deep.
proper anatomy and physiology course first.
Yeah, because there's much to learn around physiology itself. It's incredible. I mean, the body is, I could not stop learning that part as well when I went through the program. It blew my mind. So beautiful.
Yeah, it is so beautiful, and you need to know it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of what we call cowboys out there who aren't properly qualified, and there's a lot of, as you know, rubbish on the essential oil front out there.
Yeah, and more and more. Yeah.
Want to be a glass dark bottle? As I can see yours
yeah, it's true. And 3 things they should definitely do when they start out their business.
Okay, well, I'd say again, take a proper course. Definitely do a proper intense course. Another thing I've learned is that you actually have to be quite fit to massage.
Wow. Yes.
You really do. I took it for granted, and I had to take 6 weeks off last year from an injury. I was attacked by a dog, and 2.5 months. And then when I went back to work, I noticed that giving a massage was quite exhausting. And I'd never known that before because I had started massaging and I kept on. And I would do my yoga and my walking. And if you're not fit and healthy in the sense of what you eat, and your mind, of course, that it's quite a hard career. And I've known people give up because they get sore joints and stiff this and stiff that, which usually relates to what you're eating.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say you need to think about your fitness and your health to be able to be a masseuse full-time. You know.
I can imagine that. Yeah. I had an injury last year with my herniated disc and an operation, and I was down for 3 months. I couldn't do anything. Got the operation in Cascais, and that you take your body so for granted all the time, and then it throws you over the cliff, and you're like, wow, what would I do without a husband right now, or what would I do not having support? And that's another reason maybe to also think about what if you have these little holes in your business, or if something happens for a moment, how will you cope with them? Yeah. So a third thing, what would you definitely say they should do? Reviews. Get reviews in. Get reviews in. Many reviews and testimonials.
And I was going to say something to do with people. They definitely must enjoy being with people, because part of being a therapist, a massage therapist, or whichever type of therapist is, you have to feel good with people, even though it's one-to-one. And you to be able to do that 5-10 minute chat and sound out a person's needs, you have to feel sort of confident in yourself to feel what they need.
Yeah.
And when I trained, that was part of the training, which is why it had to be a good one, that you do like psychology in a way. Now, is this person somebody that's full of energy and stressed and doesn't sleep, or is this person someone that's quite depressed and slow and needs to be brought up? That's a very basic way of looking at it, but you need to be able to understand people without asking too many questions, because it can get a bit personal, because some people don't want to give away anything. So you still have to, understand people, in that sense. And of course, the more you do, the more you work, the more you do understand people, don't you?
Yeah, so get as many people in and work with them and learn more about yourself, I guess, too.
And definitely do some kind of healing course. Protect yourself, the energies.
Yeah.
That was essential. Because there are people, therapists who absorb everything and then they go down, and that's not good.
Can't take it anymore.
It's not good for the client either.
Yeah.
So
it's not really, I can imagine it's not an easy job to have to be massage therapist and also absorb the energy, or not try to absorb the energy. And especially if you have a busy season and you have more massages than you sometimes can probably even or should have or give. I can imagine that it's already hard to just have the children sometimes 4 hours in a row. I cannot even imagine to give 6 or 7 massages.
But I must tell you, half of each massage is in silence. With my chosen music and oils. And you don't attend a telephone, you don't look at a computer. It's the most zen time. Your mind is quiet. It's lovely. There's no multitasking. It's it's very physically draining in a way, but at the same time, it's the opposite of stress.
Yeah.
Which suits me really well. I come out of the massage room really serene myself.
So I think you're doing it then the right way. I'm probably, I think there would be massage therapists being drained after it as well, but I think you found probably really your way on how to do it and do it well for yourself and the client.
My grandfather said to me when I was about 9, we're all on this planet with a talent. Now, your job's to find your talent, and then you'll never have a day's work again. And I really feel that was my talent, is to massage and touch. And then it doesn't feel like work. For me, the work is, as you say, the bureaucracy, sorting out what time they're coming, and, oh, this one's late. Oh, I better move that one. And, that sort of thing is more than the actual work itself.
You love. Yeah. Well, that was a good grandfather. He nailed it.
Yeah, no, people say to me, oh, how can you touch bodies? And they cringe. And feet, they cringe to me. And I absolutely love it. It works.
Yeah. Well, let's have a few last questions, Justin. I thought actually that it might be fun for the listeners or everybody who's just watching the interview then. What is your favorite word? One word.
Ooh. I think it would be happiness. I think it would.
Yes. What sound?
What works?
Sorry. That's true. Happiness is, it's essential for life. It's something where we thrive on, where we look forward to something. It doesn't work without happiness.
The inner happiness. Yeah. That one that really makes life good. That one. Yeah. Happiness. Yeah. And the more you think of it, it does more. It comes in different ways. But yeah, I think happiness is a big one.
True. Yeah, no, very true. I was just thinking, because happiness can come in different forms as well, and not just like happiness that somebody brings you flowers, but what you said, the inner happiness is
inner happiness, yes.
And that is so much bigger.
And when you have that, you see the brighter side of life.
Yeah, true.
And you notice things, and people react back to you in a certain way that's really positive. So I think it's something to do with that.
Yeah.
I might think of a different word tonight and go, I said the wrong word, but I'll think that's what I'll say.
That came right now. I think that is probably dominant in your life. And then I was just wondering, what sound do you like? I always think of sound. There are certain sounds in everybody's life where they put a smile to it.
It'd be Indian music. I'm sure I used to live in India. I've been there, I've spent a year of my life there, but there's something about Indian music, it just gets me every time. And I can listen to it over and over again, all different types. I love it, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And I suppose the sound, it would be the sea. That's what I love.
Yeah. Well, you live close enough.
I can hear it when I go to sleep.
Yeah. And if you would need to choose another profession, what would it be?
I think I'd still have to be on the touch scene, something to do with kinesiology, something where you're testing, working with the body, but it might not be massage and oils. Sacrocranial touch.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's still coming. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or outdoor adventure sports.
Oh,
if you
that
really
would be very
different.
different. Yes, that would be
I
different.
love paddleboard. I love hiking, sailing. I'd do anything with the sea.
Huh.
So maybe later in life.
You never know. No, or you just add it one by one. What are you not very good at all?
Bureaucracy. Bureaucracy.
High five. Oh.
I'm learning. Got a good accountant, etc., etc.
Yeah. Step by step, we get it done.
Yeah, I'm learning how to use this machine, the computer, for years and stuff.
You're doing it.
Yeah, and I am getting much better at that. I used to say public speaking, but I've given so many workshops now, I've got over that.
I think you're relaxed over that one.
Well, over that one.
You got over that.
It's just that bureaucracy, but anyway, we all have it.
One more question. What is it that you say it is true, but almost everybody says it's not true? Is there anything like this with your children or something else?
I think it's the vibration that goes on all the time that gives us instinct, coincidence, all the lovely sensations in life where you just know you should do something. And there's a lot of people that say that doesn't exist. And I said it does.
It does.
I always say it does. If you see it, and like the Buddhists say, the answer to the next question is literally before the end of your nose, so you know it. You just can't see it because you get all the mind action confusing and doubting and what if, why should I, I'm not necessarily a Buddhist, but I feel like it suits me, and I think it really is true and it really works. If you go with your gut instinct, life will take you in a lot better camino than if you thought your way through life.
Yeah.
So it's feeling everything rather than thinking it. That's
and
that's answering the question, but
that's
something I'm so adamant about, is you've got to feel your decisions and feel your way through life more than rationalize them, decisions.
And I also think that people who are closer to touch or any of our senses will be able to do that much easier than people working with their mind all the time. And for that reason, I truly do believe that actually is true as well. Also, it is hard to do it at all times, but feeling your gut and you actually know what the next step should be. You just have to spell it out to yourself, right? You just have to say it. But that's sometimes
a funny story that represents that. When I talk to my clients and I will think, listening and talking to them, and then I will feel what oil they need. So it'll be like, oh, I need cypress, this one, rosemary and lavender for this. Yeah. And when I started needing my glasses for the, close up, and I would forget to take them into the massage room all the time. And I could put my hands over bottles as I was thinking it, and then I'd smell them, and it would be the oils.
That's intuitive blending.
And I would have thought, oh, cypress, and then it would be the one I'd pick up, and that shows it happens.
You're so in the right field. You are in the right field. Don't even change it.
Sometimes I'd say to the client, that's incredible. Look at all these bottles. And what did I just say? And there it is.
There it is. Yeah. Don't change it.
I love them. Yeah.
So Michelle, where can people find you? How can they book a massage with you? What is the best way to get in contact with you?
Well, Healing Micky, my business name. And I think Facebook, Healing Micky, Instagram as well, I'm Healing Micky. I think it's the simplest way. I have a website as well, healingmicky.com. But I actually think through social media is easier. Just the Facebook and Instagram course, I have a telephone as well, but I don't need to put the number up. That's quite hard. And I accept all treatments through there. I'm based in Madre de Serra.
So like the messenger on Facebook as well works for you then. And okay. And is there anything happening this year still where people might be interested to come, like a retreat already? Is anything on the calendar already for...
I'm about to launch monthly workshops in this area.
Oh, great.
Which will be up to 10 people.
Okay.
So it will be like reflexology for your family, or self-hand reflexology, or how to use 4 oils in your house. And
great.
So far, to keep it simple. So there'll be a various lineup of workshops coming up. 3-hour-long workshops, I think is fun.
And that will be on Facebook as well? You will put these events on Facebook?
Put them up on Facebook as well.
Okay.
And there'll be other things coming out with other women working together. We're going to do day projects as well. So that'll come out as I have proper titles for them. It's early in the year and we'll set them up.
Well, make sure you let the Aromatherapist in business group know as well, because I can take that then and promote it here in Portugal and on other sites as well. So we do some co-promotion there. So definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Love
let me
to.
know.
And in the meanwhile, I will definitely make a booking to come visit you.
Please, or I come to one of your workshops. It's it's beautiful, and it's just 40 minutes away, so not that long. But it's sometimes hard to coordinate everything, right, with schedules and homeschooling and whatnot else. But yes, I would love that.
I'm free of that now, so I can come and visit you. Look forward to it.
Let's drink a tea.
Wonderful talking.
It has been really. Thank you so much, and then I will let you know. Yeah, thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Afternoon.
You too. Bye-bye, Michelle.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.